In the beginning of Earth as we know it, first created were humans and labs. The Jews were the most successful of the creation of the smartest group of scientists. They were the direct descendants of the Elohim. To be specific, Elohim means God, to God believers, and to the book of Genesis and some Bible translations. The Elohim suffered a similar fate when it came to the belief that genetically engineering things in labs on other planets was wrong. Some Elohim scientists in labs all over Earth set up life on here. Some of those still arguing about creating things in other planets is wrong. The Elohim creators might have died because of mythological beliefs amongst one another. From what I heard, that some of the ancestors may be demons called the we or vanity. They try to possess people to obtain immortal bodies, and it tortures the hell out of that person's mind. How do I know this? Because I am a victim of the we myself, or vanities. I was told by the Elohim to live in pure, away from cities, because there is concrete everywhere. Whatever I am very telepathic. Satan walked by me to warn me not going to follow my sparkle witch hunt for a telepath. He only smiled. And when something supernatural happens to you, it is the Elohim or an eternal channel through. Eternal is somebody from Earth that was brought back to life on the planet of the Eternals, living in paradise in their own genetically cloned body. Remember that story about our old famous grandpa? They say when you talk about it, you hear noises in the background. Ghost phenomena is over-exaggerated. Sometimes all you hear is all what was left. You see dead people, or at least a transmitted hologram from another planet up in space connected by pyramids and pyramids on Earth. Respect the early Eternals by respecting them, and firstly by doing your best, but you can't deny that energy exists out of the human body. Usually the stuff stands out as a communication. We are all very much like a television show. Watch your thoughts. The Elohim mostly appear in UFOs, but no one really ever met one except a few. Some say the aliens are amongst us. No, really, we are the aliens. And one thing I really respect about the Elohim is their protection over us with the nano-missile defense system over the Tunguska forest in Russia. Not to mention them saving lives today. They seriously are the angels amongst us. Maybe they have nanomachines flying around and we're also saving lives. So the lab with the most brilliant scientists created a race which was the Hebrews from the Exodus part of the Bible. This is a history of all genetics of all mankind. The Elohim bases in mountains, although the bases are located underwater. Those pictures of Zeus, Shiva, Ra, and the gods of the Mayan people and the temples of those people, they were all created after the Jewish race spread out 12,500 years ago. The Native Americans were Jews who walked across the icebergs. When the people first occupied land, they engulfed it. Then they separated from where they were. So the Jews would come and liberate it with their science. And the other humans were slightly different, but this was 15,000 years ago. Also, the dragons existed in English folklore in Asia. Reptiles may also be bipedal and human-like. Genius is worshipped upon. Do not disrespect like a lot of these YouTube videos do. They disrespect aliens and lie. The Old Testament Pangea existed in Genesis. This was a single continent which resulted from underwater nuclear explosions. Anyways, the first race of singular existed on one continent. How are we to handle the situation? So they're taken out of labs and given sticks to go hunting. Eventually they got guns and started telling their daughters go and seduce the Elohim scientists into giving them technology. Are cheap or expensive? The same values concept. The Elohim were very upset at their new creation. These people were not evolved enough yet for technology, so they fired time missiles from the planet to kill all life on Earth. So Elohim commanded Noah to go and build a spaceship and preserve not build a spaceship, but he's given a spaceship, and preserve a copy of all the DNA from all species on Earth, which is done. And then, so in the meantime, several people boarded an ark. Some people survived. Maybe he's just given a spaceship. The Bible is horribly poetic. Anyways, a spaceship, which was periodically defined to a boat, but the missiles were mistaken for raindrops. The rain flooded everything. The Bible is really artistic, just gargles in the background. We were cavemen back then. Maybe even the carbon dating system is fake. There was actually life on Earth before 30,000 years ago, maybe more than once. Once the nuclear fallout was settled down on Earth, the Elohim set up life once again. Now there were several continents. Man, look, that must have been one huge blast. Alas, this toss way up north. Amazing, hope it never happens again. Definitely not that hard. Hope it never happens again. Most of the dinosaurs were left behind because who wants big giant animals with scales eating people? But dragons made it through the English folklore prior to the defeat of the Elohim too. Go look at a map anywhere of Earth. Anywhere. You can tell it was blown up once. Some of the survivors of the old Earth were seeking revenge, demanding to get some technology off the Elohim through what they remembered. Close by, the Tower of Babel was built. Or in other words, a giant rocket was built. I guess these survivors were trying to get to the planet of the Elohim. Their excuse was to honor them, and two cities sprang up, one called Sodom and the other called Gomorrah. They were very close together, and some of his people were awakened to the Elohim's clear presence, but also sought revenge. The Elohim sent in two spies armed with pocket weapons and other weapons, but when they were caught, they fired the pocket and instantly killed a bunch of people. As the gravity being out to sea, they yelled, "Everyone out, the Elohim is going to drop bombs on the city." They say a few got out, and a few were scientists and survived in bunkers below. That'll teach them to take revenge against their creators is wrong. These people were killed to cover up history, i.e. the temples in Egypt, so they died with their secrets. At least there was not another cataclysm. That's why it won't happen again. Humans are very smart. Just look at our models. They're extremely beautiful, but then again, it's all for a good cause. they were actually going to attack the Elohim. They are our parents. At least this time they didn't level everything on a planet. Anyways, one of the creators of the Jews named Lucifer, who gave them technology, or Bear's technology. He also took part in creating the Jews in Israel, or in Egypt. I seen Lucifer one time appear. He was warning me not to move to Sioux Falls because I am a telepath, and Caesar Clover kind of coffee not good for telepaths. Microwaves. Lucifer is a black Elohim man who stands at 4 feet and has servants. Anyways, being the one who gave the technology, he was condemned to earth and started to work with other Elohim scientists. Hence, the Jews rose out of Egypt. The Elohims tested Jesus, Job, and Rael, maybe even you. It's very strange. It must have been a hot Africa where humans emerged and evolved from. Different lands mean different things. Afterwards, Moses guided them out of Egypt. They all ended up in Israel, and Yahweh is the loud speaker himself on Mount Sinai to tell the Ten Commandments. On Mount Sinai, where the first human and Elohim council was set up, a temple was built, where the Jews would give fine meat and fine fruit to the Elohim. Then the Elohim helped them establish land across the farthest reaches of Italy and east of the farthest reaches of Persia. Remember, this is the first time we had contact with the erasing creators or nowadays aliens, just to say I'm just a writer. I searched for the answers. That was my job and purpose, to exploit the answers and reveal the truth. Yahweh, not Moses, Jesus last week on Mount Sinai. By the way, Moses is half freshly Eloah and human. Yahweh, not Moses, just another feat. Some of the Jewish tales consist of high-powered radio communicators that, if used the wrong way, can burn your hands off. Many pyramids were built across the earth in a perfect circle by Elohim, and there are pyramids in space that allow for telepathic communication to the Elohim planet. Since we all live in different places, once everything was done, I had a vision once at my grandma's house in Sioux Falls. I put thought in the ark and there was another planet. We were psychically connected. That is what church is. In order to be a true religion, you must not worship prophets, and by not worshiping prophets, you must not worship anything, entity that has DNA. You must not bow down to anything, even if it is just a statue, but you must be healthy and think of the infinity a lot, or pray. Jesus was a tragedy. It was tough to watch him die, but also do not fear death, because it is not the end. All I remember is that stored in each one of our cells, singularity in his genome. Once we discovered DNA, that's when the Elohim showed up again. I'm just glad Rael was real. Although Jesus did have a message here, this was the first atomic bomb, then the DNA.